he's probably out for the rest of the regular season. Hopefully we'll have him back for the playoffs.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you about Keyshawn Vaughn. I know we talked about him a little bit yesterday, but, he, as it stands right now, I believe he's one of the only running backs you have under contract for next year. What do you think his upside is? Is he a third down back? What's his upside in this league, do you think?
No, I think he's a lead back. I mean, he has great running skills, excellent jump cut ability, and he's worked on his hands. His hands are better. He dropped one yesterday, pissed him off, but he's worked on his hands hard. So I think he's a lead dog. Yeah.
We'll go to Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I'd want to ask you about your depth at receiver and just how it's changed over the course of the year in terms of guys like, obviously, at one point it looked like more like Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller, and you've seen guys like Perriman and now Grayson that have emerged. Just how that's changed as the year's gone on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on your ass too, because you're the one that jinxed them all. Because you asked me about Justin Watson when he was going to play.
And you said only if a bunch of guys get injured.
Yeah, exactly. And but no, it's a good room, man. I've marveled at the guys we've had on our practice squad for the last couple of years, and Jaden Mickens is playing really well in Jacksonville now, and Cyril is one of the hardest working guys we've had, and each and every guy on our practice squad, I think, got a chance to be a player someday. So, the receiver room is good. Hopefully we get Brashard back this week, and I'm not sure about Mike yet, and we'll wait and see on that one.
Thanks, Bruce.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. Curious, what happened there on that 63-yard completion that the defense surrendered to Sam Darnold? Looked like a coverage bust, but I didn't know if you could take us through what was supposed to happen on that play.
Well, he broke contain, and it was just a broken play. Sean Murphy-Bunting came back up. He's got a plaster to that guy once the quarterback breaks contain. It's one of the only two plays they had the whole game. But, it was more of a busted play. But, we got to do a better job of plastering when the quarterback breaks contain.
Thank you. And then there was a period when you guys were in the red zone there, and it just looked like maybe Tom and the receiving targets weren't on the same page at like the 4-yard line. I know Brady failed to connect with Gronk. He also failed to connect with Bray. What happened there in that red zone series?
Yeah, we dropped one. Gronk got to catch that ball. And the other one, they had good coverage on the one, but no, there wasn't anything special. We just didn't convert. We didn't play very well in the red zone inside the 5.
We'll go to Joey Knight.
Coach Matt Rule said they had some significant COVID issues this morning. Just wondering if you guys are okay.
We have one coach test positive. That's it so far.
Okay. And just with all these guys, these unheralded guys playing well and building confidence, when you get some of these guys back for the stretch run, the postseason, you think you'll be a deeper team down the stretch?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. Same thing with the secondary. All those guys that played, Pierre started a couple of games, played a bunch, and he was inactive this week. So as we get guys back, we've built some great depth through the injuries, and hopefully we'll get Mike back and BP back and see how the receiver core builds back up, and hopefully, knock on wood, we don't lose anybody else.
Thanks.
We'll go to John Ledyard.
Hey, Bruce, just wondering with Levante and Leonard Fournette, I know those guys have been put on injured reserve, but I'm just wondering how you feel about the likelihood that they're back for the first round of the playoffs, or would it take maybe a little bit of a deeper run to get them back?
Yeah, I think that's still up in the air. To see how they heal, and you got our fingers crossed that they'll be back, but we're not going to rush it either.
And are you able to say which coach tested positive?
Kevin Garber.
Thank you.
We'll go to Rick Stroud.
Hey, Coach, I think maybe it's tomorrow. I don't think it's today, but teams can begin, if they don't have a coach, such as Jacksonville or others, to begin interviewing, at least virtually, some assistants of other teams. Do you know if anybody is going to talk with Byron or Todd?
No, I don't know. I mean, none of the paperwork's been put in yet. They have to go through through channels, and I welcome it if it is.
Sure. And just one other question about, with all these injuries on offense and trying to find various ways, you guys went with a lot of 3 tight ends. You used Josh Wells. You obviously ran the ball, did some special stuff there. OJ Howard's a guy that's come back from an Achilles, hasn't played a lot. Obviously, Gronk's in front of him. Has he struggled with that? Because there was a time when, as you know, he was coming on and was a pretty big matchup problem for teams.
No, this is probably his best game. He blocked really, really well in this game. And we kind of really held the edge pretty good, to run the ball that well, especially when we're going around the corners. But OJ's, man, he comes to work every single day, and his time's coming. I mean, there's going to be a time when he's the guy that catches it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
We'll go to Greg Allman and finish with Jenna Lane.
Hey, Bruce, it's something that fans had noticed in the TV broadcast, and there's probably a relatively simple explanation. But Brady, Tom didn't have the captain's patch on his jersey. Was that just a laundry issue? What happened there? We didn't have the patch on his jersey.
I think they just switched his jersey. I mean, no big deal.
Okay, fans were just wondering. Thank you.
The last question will come from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned yesterday Cyril Grayson's ability as a blocker along with his speed. But, for a guy that had 1 catch prior to this game, and you certainly had a number of other players on your roster that had played more snaps, what gave you the confidence to know that you could trust him in such a big moment yesterday?
Just watching him practice every single day. And nobody, like I said, nobody works harder. He's putting on the other team's show. He does a hell of a job, and got all the confidence in the world in him because I know he will block.
Thanks.
All right. That's all we have time for. Appreciate you taking the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.